What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN USD. It is the 15th day of June. We're halfway through this month, and here we are with about 10 hours, 13 minutes left in the day, sitting at $0.0028. Hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you all for being here. Zebec is kind. If anything, it's kind. I mean, it's a very kind coin, you guys. If you made the mistake like I did. I didn't buy Zebec, but if you made the mistake of being bullish on Zebec throughout this range, it gave you opportunity to sell more than halfway, like from a top to a bottom, more than halfway through, like 2/3, if not 75% of the way through. You had an opportunity to sell here, and it wasn't just for an hour, it wasn't just for a moment, it was for weeks, for almost a month in this area that you were eligible to sell, even if you were late to the party. And I mean, maybe you bought here and you didn't sell and you've seen tremendous loss. You've come back a solid bit. I mean, how much are we up from the low here? From this low, you were literally up this week 27%. You're up 6% this week already, and it's only Monday. We got 6 days, 11 hours left. Crazy stuff, you guys. Absolutely crazy stuff. Very kind, very, very forgiving. And I'm hoping, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, I'm hoping that if you've bought in these areas, hell, even if you bought the absolute high, which most of you probably did, um, I'm hoping that you're taking this kind opportunity to mitigate your losses, to get out neutral, to take your profits while they last. Because likely you will move down from here. Likely you are going to move lower. You're going to see a lower low, and not just a lower low in respect to this, but a lower low in respect to this as time persists onward, okay? My suspicion here is the same as it was at this high, as it was at this high, as it was at the absolute high on that day where we called the top. It's how we're going to go lower. We look at how Zebex performed, and we get to know it by personality a little bit here. You can see that here you had some lower lows coming in, and what'd you do? You broke out of those lower lows. It was right there that you found resistance, and you finally formed an overall lower low. I said lower lows, I'm sorry, lower highs. Lower highs. You broke out of those lower highs. Right there on that breakout, that was the top, and you moved down. It's a slightly lower high there. What did we do here? We had some lower highs coming in, and then we broke through those lower highs. And it was right then at that moment that we formed overall lower lows, that we topped off and we came down, right? It was a lower high overall. Here we had some relative lower highs as well, and we have broken through, and maybe we move up a little bit higher. What does this high here have in common with this high? Well, beyond breaking above its prior, like, kind of momentary lower high trend here, that lower high dynamic, you found resistance right here at prior support. You're finding resistance right here at prior support, at least on a closing basis, maybe not on a wicking basis, but still. I suspect that with this move being very low volume, with the fact that this move is coming in as Bitcoin's moving up, as the rest of the market's kind of moving up, shaping up, my suspicion is that we will see this come back down. Maybe move up a little bit more, but let's throw some fibs on here. From a high to a low, you got just above the 382. This is perfect. This is exactly where you would expect to find resistance, in my opinion. Here you found resistance at your 0.5. Here from a high to a low, you went all the way up to your 786, 0.5, 382, whatever. Maybe we go higher. Maybe you go all the way back above 0032. I doubt it. I really doubt it. But if you do, and you're stubborn and you're not taking it upon yourself to sell here, or maybe you're even taking it upon yourself to buy here, and we go up here, good for you. Even better time to sell. My thoughts are go up here, whatever the case may be, you're going to come down. It's not worth holding for the long term. I don't think you're going up here at all. I'm just playing around a little bit. I very much do believe that you're at a point of resistance, and it's very common with the 382, especially in bearish conditions, to wick above the 382, like you are now, close below it, like you probably do in the next 10 hours. Watch for that. And then from there, that's your high point that you whittle your way down from, and you work your way down, okay? Zebec, as it's moved, from a high to a low here, you move down about 25%. From a high to a low here, you move down, and obviously you went lower, but that was your initial move. You moved down about 26%. From a high to a low here, you move down about 30%. On a daily time frame, none of these moves really got you into the oversold zone. I am impressed, actually, on the daily RSI that you've broken out of this lower high trend. That's something that's admirable, to be fair. You do have higher highs in the RSI with lower highs in the price. It's hidden bearish divergence, so you're also at this overbought zone on the stochastics. Your blue line is separated from the orange line. Come back down. Maybe you form a false cross on the daily MACD, something like that. You are at this point of contention with all your indicators and the price itself. But if we analyze this, we look at this 25, 25, 30%. You see a 25% drop from here. That would take you to lower lows. And not only that, but your daily RSI would likely be earmarked for lower levels in the RSI as well. And I theorized this back here. We're theorizing it here now. Is that once you get into these RSI oversold levels, once you see lower levels there, you should see a move that represents that. So it likely is stronger than anything you've seen so far. In other words, the strongest move down for Zebec has yet to occur relative to this high to where we are now. We have yet to see the strongest move down. The strongest move is 30%. I think the strong move is coming though, and it very well could be this next move. If it is stronger than 30%, you will go below 002. And if we go below 002, we take this low here to this high. That will take us below the golden ratio, and that will take you likely to the 786 or lower. So 35% drop or more. I mean, that makes sense to me. 35, 40% drop, something around 00185 to 00168. I could very much see it happening. That's my expectation. That's where I think we're going to go in time, and that makes sense as well, because then you're finding support around these daily low closes here, finding support in this lower area. You might see a dramatic drop, people capitulate, and then you set a base over time. You kind of move up, get people excited again, and as time goes on, then you hurt those feelings. You move down, you see lower lows, and who knows? That could be the end of your bear market down here, or perhaps you go lower to new all-time lows, which is what I'm forecasting at the moment. I am coming around to the idea of us not going to new all-time lows, but I'm very much. I mean, I'm nowhere near saying that this is the bear market low. No, you're likely going to go below that low as time goes on. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. We'll wrap this video up here in a little bit, okay? Quickly, hopefully. Looking at this on the 1 hour, RSI high here, lower high there, high here, higher high there. That's double bearish divergence, at least back down to 00273. Not a dramatic drop, but still that's not only enough to suggest that you move down a little bit, but also enough to suggest that this move is not going to last. So you probably are at a topping point. Stochastics have been overbought for a second, and you do have bearish divergence on your MACD as well. We look at the 4 hour time frame. 4 hour got overbought. The last time that you were overbought at all was up here, and that was your relative high. The time before that you were overbought was here, and that was a relative high. The time before that you were overbought was here, and that was a relative high. You did get overbought here, and you were moving up a little bit higher as time went on. To be fair, just because you're overbought doesn't mean that you have to move down. But typically, when you're in a downtrend, which you are in a downtrend, when you get overbought, that is a reset of your indicators. Just like when you're in an uptrend, whenever you're moving up, once you get oversold or anywhere near this area, that's typically a reset of your indicator. You're ready to move back up, right? Like here, you barely got into the oversold zone. You were in an uptrend, so you continued to move up. Here, we're in a downtrend. You're barely getting overbought, barely, and those mark your highs every single time. Stochastics are overbought as well. MACD looks good. MACD is probably I mean, they all look good, in all fairness. All these indicators look good right now, but in this overall context of a downtrend, I think that it's more of a signal that you're going to move down. The only one to me that suggests you could continue climbing would be the MACD. That's what I meant by it looks good. We look at the daily time frame, and again, just these lower highs coming in here. It's been very tradable. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but this is very, very tradable. Zebec here. There's been ample opportunities to trade here. And again, it's very kind, because not only ample opportunities, but let's say you were thinking about selling here, but you didn't. If you just waited, you had an opportunity to still sell like the low ends of this range. And then here, maybe you thought about selling here, but you didn't. It dumped down. You're having an opportunity to sell the low ends of this range right now. Like it's very, very kind. Very, very kind. You can't, if you're losing money on any of this move down, you can't blame anybody but yourself at that point, right? You really can't. I don't care if you watch somebody who was super bullish on it. It was going to $10 or a dollar or 10 cents or whatever it was that got you to buy, and that hyped you up. I mean, with everything that's happened here at this point, it really is your fault. If you bought because somebody else got you excited, it's not their fault, because the signs have been there. The signs have been there. You've had ample opportunity to wash your hands clean, take a slight loss, whatever. If you're taking any kind of significant loss of this thing, that means that you bought the absolute high. You bought at a time of emotion. And if you're an emotional investor, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, you're not going to do well, right? Emotional investors typically don't do well. They buy the highs, they sell the lows. The best thing that you could do if you are an emotional investor, I think, would be, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, would be to stack cash, stack a lot of cash, wait to buy, pretend in your head that you're invested in the markets. And then whenever you feel emotional, you feel like, oh my God, this is such a terrible thing, the markets are going to crash, you feel that emotion, take all that cash you've stacked and dump it into the markets. Just do it there, because your emotions might actually be a good moniker of a focal point in the markets, of a transitioning period where we go from bearish to bullish. Who knows? Give me a call. Tell me whenever you think the market's going to go to zero, because that might be good. I had a buddy recently tell me that that he was going all into crypto, and he's pretty new, and I'm like, man, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. To be fair though, where Bitcoin is now 66K, he's not doing the worst. He didn't buy at 126K, right? I mean, he's doing all right, but anyways, I'm done talking. I'm gonna end the video there. No, we're not on Tal, we're on Zebec here. Let's just see if there's anything that I'm missing. Everything looks bad. It all looks bad. It looks like we're gonna go down. And that's all I gotta say. I wasn't even gonna make a video on Zebec today, but because you're up like 6%, I figured I'd entertain you. I still believe. I mean, if I'm wrong, and we don't go down to 00185, 00166, if we don't go down here for support, maybe we find support of the golden ratio, and then we work our way down, whatever it is. But you're still in this trend. You're still moving lower, and you will inevitably move below this low. When you do move below this low, the target area is the same here as it was here, 0011 to 0008. That's your first initial target area, primary target zone. And I suspect if we're looking at this in the context of this kind of channel, let's do this. If we're looking at it here as this kind of like channel, maybe I'll fudge the lines a little bit better. Something like that, okay? I don't expect it to be perfectly respected. If we break above that line, you're not going to the moon. If you break below this line, it's not doom. Maybe it is doom. Just because we are in a more bearish kind of environment. But what I don't expect is that we'll get down here. You draw these lines out. I don't expect that it'll be September that we get down here. I suspect that we will pick up the pace, and you probably do fall below these lines at some point. It'll probably be as you get closer to this area here. So that'd be, late July that you're down here. Maybe sometime in August that you probably see this 0011, 0008 area come into view, okay? I've been telling people since February, since late January, since February, that I think the bear market will end in August. And I've been telling people I know in the real world, stack cash, and whenever it's August and later, that's the time to buy. And I've been telling people on top of that, even if the market seems like it's dead, even if everybody's saying crypto's dead, August and later, I think it will be the time to buy. It might not be the exact low, but generational moment to buy there. Cyclical moment to buy. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Maybe not for all coins, but for Bitcoin specifically. But all coins can do funky things. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.